Hello, this is Dylan Miller on Daily Dose of Dylan, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, or iHeartRadio. This is Dylan Miller on Daily Dose of Dylan. Alright, we got some good stuff today. Let's see this. So the Suns are up 2-0. Chris Paul's coming back. The Pistons won the draft lottery. And, what's his face? I'll talk about the baseball. What is it? I'll talk about Max Scherzer and Joe Girardi and... Alright, let's go into this. So the Suns last night took a 2-0 lead, just squeaking by the, Clippers. It ended, obviously, on a very dramatic, alley-oop from DeAndre Ayton. The nickname for this is going to be the Valley-oop. And, honestly... These Suns, I'm telling you, I'm a Cavs fan and a Cavs fan only, but these Suns, I really like them. I'm definitely, if they don't win the championship, I don't know who I even want to win after that. I mean, I like an underdog story. I'm going to root for the Bucks if the Suns get out. I don't want the Clippers to win, just because I think, I mean, if they win without Kawhi, which they might. I mean, if they get past this round without Kawhi, I might root for them because I'll have more respect. But I don't know. I like the Clippers, but I don't know. I just like the Bucks more, and I probably would root for the Hawks because they're probably behind the Suns, my second favorite team. But I don't see them winning more than 2 games against the Hawks. But these old school Suns I just really like the way they have this team put together. And DeAndre Ayton last night showed he's a big who wants to be a big. That's what I said he is. He wants to be a big, and that's a lot of big men aren't like that. Giannis likes trying to shoot threes and he doesn't do it well. AD likes to shoot threes, but those are things that they shouldn't be doing. But yeah, Giannis and AD, I think if they were to stop trying to take threes, they'd be even better than they are, which is scary. But, yeah, DeAndre Ayton wants to be a big, and Devin Booker had a good game again last night. And I think the fact that they are able to beat the Clippers, and yes, they don't have Kawhi, but I think this shows the Suns have way more depth than we thought. Because the Clippers are a deep team. But the Suns, they have a lot more depth than we thought. Chris Paul, the best player, is out right now. And he's coming back tomorrow. But he's out right now, and they won 2 games. I don't know if they're sweeping the Clippers, because I don't know when Kawhi's coming back. Because when he does, it's going to be a good series. But CP3 coming back tonight is going to be huge. And I'm at home rooting for them right now, so hope they win. Alright, my second topic today will be the draft lottery. And obviously that moves us to my favorite team, the Cavs. They got the 3rd overall pick, which is good. And you know what I realized today? Colin Sexton averaged more points a game than the Cavs have wins. Sexton averaged 24, the Cavs won 22 games. But, alright, so the Pistons won the draft lottery. And honestly, they've become one of the more irrelevant franchises so far. If I were Cade Cunningham, I would not be too happy that I'm going there. And, I mean, there wasn't, I mean, when you're a number one overall pick, you can't expect much. You're not going to go to, it's going to be tough to go to a team. Like, James Wiseman got lucky getting the Warriors last year. It's rare that happens. And, but, I mean, Cade Cunningham going to the Pistons is going to be tough for him. But, in this NBA draft, it's not all about the lottery. There's going to be a guy outside the lottery, like a Kawhi, a Booker, or a Giannis, or a Jokic, that are just going to fall. And, in about 5 years from now, we're going to be saying, wow, this guy really fell to blank, And you know what I was interested in? The Warriors made a trade with the Timberwolves to go to the 7th overall pick. And, Steph is at his best right now. He's playing the best he's ever... He has, I think, in my opinion, the best year he's had. But I think they have a 3-year window where everyone's going to be, healthy. And, there's still a lot of question marks, But Wiseman's coming back. I really like James Wiseman. He was my guy to win Rookie of the Year before the season started. And I think he could have competed with Melo and Anthony Edwards had he stayed healthy. But, Wiseman's coming back. I like him. Hopefully, Clay can come back the same way he was when he got injured. But I don't know. 2 ACL injuries is tough. That's not going to be easy to come back from. But, Draymond, and I don't think... I mean, I considered him overrated 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Because people were saying he was an all-star, but he wasn't. Let's face it, he's no different than Ben Simmons. He's a passer, doesn't score much. He plays great defense, though. But he's not overrated anymore because no one is calling him an all-star. They're saying he's a role player. He averaged 9 assists this year. So they got a good role player in Draymond and Andrew Wiggins. Their starting 5 is not bad. Steph at the 1, an MVP candidate. Clay at the 2, he's a question mark, though. We don't really know if he's going to be the same Clay. Wiggins, a good role player, and I said this about Ben Simmons. If he were somewhere else, like the Warriors, similar to the Warriors, and they don't need to shoot, they don't need a shooter, they don't need him to shoot, they just need him to be kind of a Draymond Green and pass the ball and all that, and play defense. If they were to make that move, Ben Simmons wouldn't be considered a bad player. That's what's happening with Andrew Wiggins right now. And, then you have Draymond Green, who really is just a ball distributor and kind of a facilitator, which isn't a bad thing. Then you have James Wiseman, who I think is a really good player. I think they have a good starting 5. They could be building something here, and they have another guy coming. So I like where they're headed, the Warriors. The problem is they have to do it quickly. They have a 3-year window. They got to do it quickly. So, Daryl Morey, and, I agree with a lot of the things he said about the Sixers, There's a lot of teams that would be envious of the position they're in right now, and they would. I'd be envious if I were another team watching the Sixers have 2 young players. It's rare you get that. It's very rare you get 2 young players that have all-star potential. Like the Bucks, Giannis, and then you have Middleton, who is he's a good player, but he's not an all-star is what I mean. like you have two guys that are like tier 1 and tier 2 that are also young. The Suns, Chris Paul's older. Clippers, Kawhi and PG, all right, they're kind of in the middle of their career right now, which is good for them. The Nets, I mean, KD is actually headed towards, and it's tough to say this because, like, the players like KD and LeBron, it's like it's weird. You feel weird saying that they're headed in the back half of their career because they're older, but they're still playing like they're 20. But KD is actually getting a little older. He's not playing like it, but he's getting a little older. It's rare that you get two guys like Simmons and, like, the Thunder had this with Durant and Westbrook. Two young guys that are top tier. Tier 1 and tier 2. The Magic had this with Penny Hardaway and Shaq. It's rare to have this. But there's a problem here. It doesn't look like Joel Embiid is confident in Ben Simmons being out there in the fourth quarter. And Simmons doesn't seem confident in himself in the fourth quarter, and that's going to hurt you really badly. They just don't seem confident in themselves at all until when they close out the game. And I'm not saying it's just Simmons, I think he's the main reason for the loss, but there's other reasons, I think Rivers is having a tough time playing Embiid because Embiid's, like, gassed by the end of the fourth quarter, And I don't know if it's about him being out of shape. I think it's like, not only, I mean, I've been saying this for like 3 days. You guys are probably getting annoyed by it, but Simmons is not shooting. So Embiid has to be on the floor a lot, and if they want to keep up with the game, And, I guess you can say it's like an expectations thing that puts some pressure on Ben Simmons, I guess. Like, he was the first overall pick. Like, Giannis and Kawhi and Booker, they're like, okay. So Giannis and Kawhi were like, okay, there's 14 players that are better than me. 14 players are going to be in the spotlight. We're going to be kind of on the outside looking in. And Booker was like, there were 4 Kentucky players drafted before me. I'm not going to be looked at. They are. And Simmons doesn't seem confident in himself right now. And, I mean, it could be the first overall pick pressure. That's a lot of pressure, being the first overall pick. Because you're going to be the main guy in the spotlight. There's going to be other guys behind you. Like, Markelle Fultz was the first pick of the 2017 draft. But Lonzo was 2, and people were looking at him. And, Lonzo doesn't seem like he's having a lot of confidence in himself either. Like, LaMelo is much different than Lonzo. Like, I think LaMelo is a better player. More confident, definitely. He doesn't miss a moment. He is very confident. Lonzo, I like his game, but he's not very confident. And a lot of it can be the fact that they were drafted a little higher. But, you get drafted high not only to be very talented and have a lot of potential, but also to be confident and be, a confident leader in your team. So you got to live up to that hype. All right. So Cameron Payne, even though I mentioned Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, Cameron Payne had a great game last night. He had 29 points. I've always thought he was a great role player, honestly. I really think he was, I really think he's, but, yeah, I just,